Running routes in football. Route running is mainly for tight ends, wide receivers, but defensive backs also have to know how to run the routes. Identify the given bone, ligament, and joint. For joint, I chose the tafilial joint, also known as the knee. It's located in the region of the knee between the top of the tibia and the femur, which is formed of the thigh bone, interior and exterior rotation, as well as the flexion and extension are possible at the tafilial joint. That is the function of it. For ligament, I chose the anterior clavate ligament, also known as the ACL. Its location is situated at the knee center. The function is the shin bone cannot slide in front of the thigh bone because of this. And for bone, for muscle, I chose the gastrocnemius, also known as the calf. The muscle is located between the lower leg, behind the lower leg. The function is it begins below the knee and runs all the way to the ankle. You can run, leap, jump, flex, bridge your foot while doing this. The calf muscle are in charge of the foot and ankle plant flexion. Identify the relationships between the structure and function tissues and the importance of these relationships. Anterior collated ligament is essential to the stability of the temporal joint, which connects the femur and tibial bones. It also limits access to tibial bones, movement, mobility, and stability of the ankle. And knee joints depends heavily on the calcaneus muscle due to the interdependence of the tissue structures and the function. Any harm of malfunctions can cause knee instability, discomfort, and restricted mobility. The gastrocnemius and the other leg muscle are frequently strengthened and rehabilitated. Remain the ACL injury in order to increase joint stability and avoid additional damage. Maintaining optional knee functions requires an understanding of the connection between the anatomy and the function. And a lot of force of skeletal joints for various static and dynamic human activities. For static, I chose standing still, sitting, laying down, locking the knees in a straight position. For dynamic activity, I chose walking, running, jumping, and sports like football. Types of motion when running a slant route or a post route. A wide receiver in the NFL do a series of dynamic motions that involves the knee joint. As they run a slant route or a post route, the receiver must frequently change directions rapidly and accelerate when using routes, which cause knee flexion, extension, and rotation on the slant. For instance, the receiver could begin by running straight behind before making a rapid cut towards the middle of the field. This requires the knee joint flex, rotate in order to shift directions, similar to when running a post route. The receiver begins by sprinting straight ahead before abruptly accelerating towards the goalpost. This requires the knee joint to bend and rotate. In general, these routes demand perfect knee joints and lower body muscles coordination in order to accomplish rapid explosive movements with agility and control. The location of the movement. A wide receiver in the NFL moves predominantly using their lower body, more especially their hips, knees, and ankles. Whether they can run slants, routes, or post routes. In order to safely complete these routes, the receiver must make a variety of lateral moves, cuts, and turns. The receiver must engage their lower body muscles, practically their quadriceps, hamstring, calf muscles, and glutes. Provide power, stability, agility, since movement patterns are compensated The receiver may also use a upper body core muscle to keep balance and composed during the route. Overall, these routes require fast directions, making accuracy and scatterized motion of several muscle groups in the lower upper bodies. How to run a slant route or post route. Running a post route in football requires a combination of speed, agility, and precision. Here are the basic steps of running these routes. Slant route, you start by lining up on the line of scrimmage and facing the quarterback. Take a few steps forward, then make a quick cut, diagonal cut towards the middle of the field. Keep your eyes on the quarterback and be prepared for the ball to come your way. Post route, you start lining up on the line of scrimmage facing the quarterback. Take a few steps, make a hard 45-degree angle towards the goalpost. The direction of motion. Football's slant route posts are typically executed with the action generally directed towards the middle of the field for slant routes and the end zone for post routes. The receivers often begins the slant route by giving straight towards secondary defenders of opposing teams. They will immediately make a diagonal cut towards the center of the field after a few steps. Generally, at the 45-degree angle, the receiver ultimate objective when moving towards the middle of the field is opening cut pass from the quarterback. A post route begins with a receiver going straight forward into the end zone. Opposing teams will then take a few feet before turning sharply in the direction of the goalpost, which places the rear of the end zone. The receiver ultimate objective is to fill the gap coverage so he may sprint to the end zone and catch the ball from the quarterback. In order to get separation from the defense and become open to throw on both routes, the receiver must execute a split-second cut and direction adjustment while moving in a fast rate of speed. The magnitude of the motion. Football players may express tenuous motions when running a slant route or post route because they must quickly shift directions and accelerate. The receiver runs a slant route, which involves major shift direction and speed by quickly cutting diagonally towards the middle of the field, similar to the post route, which also requires considerable shifts in direction and speed. In the post route involves the receiver making fast turns, directions in the goalpost. Because of the size and the move of the receiver must employ their lower body muscles while to provide power, stability, and control. A mixed agility, speed, and precision are necessary for effectively running these courses in order to accomplish the fast direction change and acceleration. Identify the bone ligament muscles utilizing the motion. I chose the ACL. During the slant route or post route in football, the anterior collateral ligament plays a crucial role in stability in the knee joint. As the receiver makes a quick change of direction and speed, the ACLs help prevent excessive movement of the tibia relative in the thigh bone, the femur, and resist rotational forces of the knee joint. The ACL also helps prevent excessive twisting of the knee joint and maintaining stability during deceleration and change of direction. Therefore, the anterior collateral ligament is the important ligament utilized running slant routes and post routes, providing stability and control of the knee joint during the high intensity activities. Common biomechanical errors. Football slant routes or posts frequently involve biomechanical mistakes such as poor posture, unnatural foot placement, insufficient usage of the kinetic chain, players can concentrate on keeping an upright torso, steady foot stance, and perfect series of motion to fix these mistakes. Exercise drills can help with these techniques. Body and power production coaches comment on visual examples and also useful in resolving these mistakes. Also, turf is bad for your knees because the turf is pretty much concrete with a thin layer of rubber and then artificial grass. And the artificial grass is slippery already. So when you plant your foot to make that diagonal cut during a slant or a post route, you have to almost do it perfectly so you won't tear your ACL, because the ACL tears in the NFL is increasing rapidly through the years because the NFL is converting to all turf fields and no regular grass fields. This slide is my videos that I have. The first video is how you run the slant route and the post route. The second video is when the turf can injure you if you don't plant your foot correctly. And this page is my reference page.